Hi, it's a grumpy old outhouse guy again, and I'm here to talk to you about venting. If you read my book, Outhouse Americana, you know that about 4 feet down, I talk about the reason for venting and the need, and basically, it's, well, you have two areas to be concerned with. Number one is below the seat, where you get all these methanes that actually develop, in decomposition of your waste matter. And you also want to vent the human chamber, what I call up here, because in the first part, what happens down below, what stinks can explode and make it very uncomfortable also in other ways for the center. To most properly expel the noxious odors and gases and warm air that develops below, your best bet is to put a little chimney here. And this creates what's called a chimney or stack effect. It's similar to your fireplace chimney, or if you have a wood stove. You notice how things just go straight up through that. And that's really what we're dealing with. It's nothing really complicated. And this one has a little collar on top to keep out the rain when it rains. And then down below, right where the seat is, pretend this is the seat. I have a little hole, and I have put in a little mesh here, a little screening to prevent critters from getting in and out. And I just kind of rest the vent on top of that. You may want to use a little bit of the studs to rest a piece of that also. But it's effective, and you do not want the bottom of the stack to go below the seat line at all. Because what happens is the gases and such accumulate near the top. And if you bring it down a bit, you get that much gas that just lingers around the surface. It doesn't go up the vent. And then when you open up the seat cover, whew, you get quite a noseful at that point. Now if you have, or if you're going to use a metal or a plastic type roof, I don't know what the material technically they call it, you may want to go out through the side of the outhouse, somewhere to old number 2 here, my radio shack, my new radio shack. And to do that, it's actually quite simple. You get these 90-degree pipes, go as high as you want in there, stick this in so it's coming out, and then you stick this down so it brings it out and up. You may want to put in a little spacer here just to make sure that you have enough distance. And then you extend it so it reaches up above the roof line. Now the roof line is probably the most important factor, because most state and municipal laws require that any venting go above the roof line. And that's just good common sense. If you vent anything out below that, there's a chance it could seep into the living structure. Now also, if you're going to be using, or you will be using that, you have your stack, and you may want to screen the top also. And you just lay like a nylon screening here, and just stick that over there, and you have it screened. It works fine. If you don't want to do that, you can just ball this up and stick it in there and have the same effect. But it's not terribly complicated, but a little bit of extra work now saves you a lot of grief later. Now you also want to, you also want to vent out this section. And with an outhouse of this type, where the roof just kind of goes at a nice angle towards the front particularly, you know that any hot air and light gases will come up to the roof line and find your way up towards the high point. It's just common physics, common sense, which is why I always put a little vent over the door, not in the door. Never put a vent or a window in the door. That's stupid. But what that vent does, it's near the high point of the outhouse, and your gases and hot air will just flow right out. And then in all the outhouses I build, although you can't see it, I also have a window that opens, and that could help exchange the air in there. So that's, just my little tip in that regards. When you're building the outhouse, make sure that basically your seat covers are pretty secure and they're not going to let gases escape. And the only way you want the gases to escape from below is through this pipe. And if you want to know more about outhouses, well, here's my toilet paper book. If you're interested in finding out how you can get one, just, go on my website, outhouseamericana.com, and email me, and I'll figure out a way of getting it to you. It's about $30 for one of these. And you get a signed copy. Only warning is, if you're going to stick this in your outhouse or in-house or whatever, read it before you use it, for Christ's sake. Now, it's always important to me that no matter who builds your outhouse, and it's really great if you do your own because you get that feeling of self-satisfaction, but you may need, or you may have a few questions, and you may need advice, just contact me. I'm an old man. I have nothing to lose by giving you that advice, and you'll have a better outhouse. Take care now. We'll see you in another video.